Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Puck's Glen is one of those locations that I feel I can visit time and time again. It's just one of those magical places. Now, I thought I was here just a few months ago, but according to my YouTube timeline, it was 16 months ago, which is actually quite terrifying when you think about it. Today, I'm going to work with the Puck theme, you know, the Midsummer Night's Dream. We're going to go for a kind of dreamy feel. Right, there's definitely a lot of water, and I'm really liking this patchy light that's falling through the trees and just lighting up little pools of water here and there. So that could well be what I'm going to work with today. Yeah, I think the light might well be the star of the show today, rather than the waterfalls, because wherever the light's pouring through the canopy above, we're getting some absolutely beautiful patches of light. Right, I love this. The moss, the colour of the moss, the waterfall just tumbling down from the top of the little hill, and it's being backlit just now by the sunlight. So if I get in a little bit closer, that gives you the separation because it's being backlit and the rocks behind aren't. So the waterfall's kind of standing out quite a bit. Okay, let me talk you through this shot. This is the first shot of the day, and what I've done is I've zoomed in on the base of this fall, so where it's hitting the rock and then splashing out the way. And I thought that would make quite a nice kind of intimate composition. So I really am only including the waterfall, these outward splashes, and the moss that's dripping wet on the side. And as you can probably see, if we wait long enough here, the light's kind of coming and going, and that's given a range of different effects. But I kind of like it the way it is just now. I'm just having to be careful not to blow the highlights and burn out the white in the water. And in particular, it's the contrast. It's the way that the waterfall itself is being lit, but the background's in darkness. That's a nice effect. Right, I'm going to grab the shot. Right, a slight variation on the same theme really. I've come round, I'm actually standing on the bridge now, and I'm looking a little bit more square on. So although you're still getting the backlit effect, I'm seeing more of the waterfall. Same idea though, concentrating on where it's hitting the rocks and splashing out. I particularly like that little section up there where it's hitting the rock above and falling down, splashing out the way. And same again down here. So I'm trying to work with that. Okay, third composition, same waterfall. I've basically moved a little bit further round to the kind of intersection of the bridge, and that's allowing me to include the entire length of the drop, but what it isn't doing is giving us that same backlit effect. So it's not quite as dramatic from this angle, but I've taken the shot again anyway. I'm going to continue on over the other side of the bridge and see if there's another shot looking back, but again I think that's going to probably render the waterfall almost invisible, because behind it is going to be very, very bright patches of sunlight hitting those beautiful green mosses. So I think we might lose the waterfall in amongst all that. It definitely seems to work best when it's backlit and the background is darker. I've came round the other side, and yeah, as expected, you kind of lose the waterfall because the background's brighter. But what we do have is a nice little rainbow. So I'm going to try and get a shot with that. I think this is because the sun is directly behind me at the moment. So I'm just going to try and grab a shot or two where I include the rainbow. Unfortunately, I only have the 24-105mm lens with me today, and I can't really get wide enough to include the upper part of the fall. So I'm just going to concentrate on this lower part and try and capture that rainbow. Right, I've taken that rainbow shot. I think it worked, I'm not sure. I probably should have put a polarising filter on now that I think about it, but it's too late now. There was more people came and I had to move on. So I've come just a little bit further up the Glen and come to this waterfall. Now, I think from memory, this is a fall that I very, very rarely shoot, because it's quite awkward to stop here because you're right next to the path, and usually you have, you know, a steady stream of people. But I've got a little window of opportunity here, so what I've done is I've set up the camera, the usual stuff, several different exposures, because I want to capture some of the detail in the water, but also I don't want to burn out any of the highlights. Right, I've taken that shot. I'm just going to work my way further up the Glen now. We do have quite a lot of people in the Glen, so it's proven to be quite difficult to stop at any one location for any significant period of time. But that's what happens when you come to these honeypot locations, isn't it? I really like that, the way the light's hitting those steps that are climbing up the side of the gorge there. And obviously you've got quite a nice foreground waterfall here. So I'm going to maybe set up the camera and see if I can get a vertical shot which takes in the base of this fall, those upper falls, and can include that stairway, because I think that kind of gives a sense of scale. So I might see if we can work with that. Right, another vertical shot coming up, I think. Right, we have a bit of a rain shower just now, so I'm just going to try and wait that out. And the reason I'm waiting it out is because I really like that overhanging tree. It looks as if there's been a landslide there and it's taken the trees with it. And that, coupled with this greener tree on this side and then the steps, I think has got some great potential as a shot. But I'm going to wait until the rain goes off. The rain's gone off now, so I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes to see if we get another couple of sunbeams through, and ideally a little shaft of light or two on the stairs, and that I think has got some great potential. So the composition that I've gone for is essentially these trees here, the overhanging trees, the green tree here, the stairs and the waterfall. The waterfall really is just a small part of the shot. It's not really a major part of this. It's actually the trees and the combination of the trees and the stairs which has actually caught my eye. Right, I've come round a little bit under a bit of an overhang, just really to get out of the rain for a minute or two. And we are slightly closer to the steps, but you kind of lose the steps because of that overhang. Oh, look, we have some sunlight. Right, I'm going to run back to where I was and see if I can retake that shot, only with the benefit of a couple of rays of light coming through. Oh yeah, look. Oh wow. Right, here we go. Right, I've come up the stairs and this here is those trees that I was so taken with. I might grab a shot of this on the way back down because I know that there's a lovely pool and another waterfall just round this corner. So I'm going to head to that. What do you make of this then? Got a bit of potential there. We've got some sunlight starting to stream through again. It's a weird situation because it is actually still raining. But that's given a nice soft feel to the background. It's introducing a kind of layer of mist, which has helped separate the foreground from the background. Yeah, I like this shot. Basically what you've got is the stairs here going up the side, and then you've got the waterfall and this lovely bright patch in the background. And what I like about it is the stairs and the waterfall seem to form converging lines, so they're both leading the eye up to that brighter patch in the background. So I quite like that as a composition. I think that works quite well. Right, I quite like this, and it's not actually the waterfall that caught my attention. What it is the contrast between this dark side here, which is kind of brown and looks almost dead, and this vibrant, lush green on this side, and then the waterfall heading between the two of them. I've done the usual. I've focused on the foreground rock. I've taken one exposure for the highlights in the waterfall, and then taking a longer exposure to try and get some of the detail in that darker side of the scene. So just over here, it's quite a tight crop, so maybe from about there down to there, just including that and some of the green. So the waterfall pretty much centre. Right, I'm going to head up a little bit more. I'm actually getting quite close to the top of the walk, and it's a circular route. If you don't know the area, it's a circular route, so I could come back down another side, but this is my favourite side of the Glen. I think you get better views from here. You get closer access to the waterfalls, and so I'll probably just get to the top, turn around and come back down. And sometimes you see things looking from a different angle anyway, don't you? Right, let me talk you through this shot while these people are taking an image. What I quite like about this is the way that every now and again you get a little splash of light on this foreground rock and in the pool down there. So what I've done is I've set up a horizontal composition where again you've got the leading line of the path and also the waterfall itself are kind of again forming almost like a converging line up to the brighter area in the background, and I'm including these lower cascades, but I'm waiting for these occasional bursts of light to hit this far wall, this near wall, and then I'm firing off a couple of shots. Same thing as before, doing a long exposure to drag out the water, but also opening up the aperture and taking some quite fast exposures to freeze the detail in the water, just in case I need to blend them together in post-processing. But yeah, I like that. It's a nice composition, but it really needs that splash of light on this side, so I'm just going to wait for that to happen again. I've got the falls pretty much front and centre. I'm trying to include that fallen log, which is kind of blocking the fall a bit, because that's something unique about today's visit, isn't it? That may well not be here next time. So I'm including that in the image as well. Fairly basic shot. I'm including the boulders at the bottom, the part where the fall hits the river or the stream, all the way up, including some of these leaves, and then the fallen log itself. Right, I'm back here, and what we have now is that amazing light in the background. So I'm going to see if I can get wide enough to have a shot pretty much like that. Obviously when we get the full glare of the sun, that's going to burn out, but I might be able to take a shot which includes, if I move a little bit closer to the fall, all of that in the same frame, because I do like that light, although it's a bit harsh now. It was better when it was a bit more subdued. But yeah, something like that. Right, as you can no doubt see, we're back at that tree that I was taken with, and now we've got this beautiful light coming through that little crack in the rock, and it's lighting up the underside of the tree as well, and spilling just in patches into the stream, the river, whatever that is, I have no idea. So I've taken that shot. Unfortunately, I'm pretty much directly shooting into the light now, so I might have to try and crop it off. But I've actually taken some very fast exposures as well, so that I've still got the detail in this burnt out bit of sky, and I could in theory paint that back in if I want. But I think those trees are just phenomenal. So that's it for Bucks Glen. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked the video, then you might enjoy this other one that's on the screen just now from my last visit. And don't forget to hit subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And if you want to sign up to my monthly newsletter, there's a link in the description below. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers, bye.